Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the eighth episode of the United Ramble. I've left this a couple of days as I didn't see the point of just doing a straight reaction video following the game on Sunday against Arsenal, purely because I just didn't want to repeat myself. So I've left it a couple of days to sort of really think about how I felt about it and really just to follow on from what I've said in other videos. And I was also conscious of coming across as a bit of a hypocrite, given I did that video last week about Solskjaer getting his tactics right against Leipzig, and then completely changing my tune, saying he got them completely wrong against Arsenal and calling him a fraud and all this. So that's not what I'm going to do today. And there's obviously another couple of players that I'm going to discuss. First of all, I think it's only fair to say fair play to Arsenal. It's clear to see that even though Arteta's he has won a trophy, that doesn't really say too much about him at this stage, given it is the FA Cup. No disrespect, but it's not as big as other trophies. He's not been in the job long, but it's clear to see what he wants to do. He wants to do like something similar to what Man City did in their prime, so like a high press, keep the ball on the floor, make themselves difficult to beat at the same time, passing through midfield. You can see what they're trying to do. Have very quick players, sorry, up front as well, in order, to get somebody in who can sort of play that sort of killer pass and then get them to run onto it. They don't really have that player yet, but when that comes, I can just see Arsenal being a decent team if they can keep this up. But a bit like Manchester United at the moment, they are inconsistent. Last week they lost to Leicester, um, and we drew against Chelsea, which at the time wasn't the worst result, even though we'd won the week before. But yeah, enough about Arsenal. On to us. So yeah, what a disaster. It was exactly the same again as it was against Chelsea, just boring. Fred and McTominay played again, which in hindsight for this game might not have been the worst decision given how it was going. Had one of them maybe have been dropped, Arsenal may have maybe scored in the first half, you never know, but whatever. I'm not going to criticise Ollie too much for that point, but it was just so boring and lifeless, and there was just nothing about the performance. It was as if like the team goes, right, okay, that was a good result midweek, we'll have a rest now. That's how it feels. They're just not consistent. And this has just been the story of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time in charge. Like, yes, he had that great run, sorry, when he signed um, basically right up until he signed permanently as United manager. Then that Paris game happened, everyone was on a high. Then the Arsenal game followed. It's always Arsenal, isn't it? And we lost 2-0 at the Emirates with De Gea doing that hooler. Um, and it's the same again. Great result against Paris, average result against Chelsea, great result against Leipzig, average, well, poor result against Arsenal. What will it be this week in the Champions League? I wouldn't be surprised if they won. Won't be 5-0 again, I'd be surprised at that. They might win 1 or 2-0. Wouldn't be shocked. And then at the weekend, you know, can't really see them being consistent. And I just don't think Solskjaer knows how to do it, how to be consistent with this Manchester United team. And it's not as if he doesn't have the resources in certain positions. Pogba can miss out. Just as an example, by the way, Pogba was awful in this game, but he's not. This isn't a video criticising him. He just happened to give away a penalty. It could have been anybody. It's just because it's Pogba that everyone's focusing in on him. Yes, it was stupid, but it's not his fault. And overall, it was a poor team performance. We started playing in the 85th minute, and I just kind of looked as if to say, well, it's a bit late now. You just knew they weren't going to score. Um, but yeah, so anybody could have, certainly going forward, you can rotate it. Cavani could have started this one. Rashford was clearly exhausted. He wasn't himself at all. Greenwood, not himself at all either. Both these players played midweek. We have I mean, I know you can't really leave both of those out, but I hate to say it, but Dan James could maybe have came in for a bit. Um, like not necessarily start the game, but he could have came on at some point. Maybe ran at Arsenal's defence for the last 20 minutes, which we didn't do. I don't even think he was in the squad. And I just don't think Solskjaer knows how to rotate his squad enough to be able to obviously manage the games that are coming thick and fast. And I know, yes, that he has complained about the squad depth, but it's not as if we don't have players who could have came in for other games, yeah, such as the Brighton game, and such as the Palace game, whatever. Rotate the squad early on. A lot of these players have played 90 minutes and for each match, playing a few games a week. They're going to get tired. It was the same as what happened after the restart. He keeps playing the same team and they're exhausted. Um, yeah, enough about him. Basically, Solskjaer is inconsistent. We're never going to find consistency under him, right? That's what I think. Pochettino happens to be on the panel last night for Monday Night Football saying he's waiting for the right opportunity. I would give him it, in all honesty. He would be, as I've said before, he would be able to work with youth academy players. So he is probably the only manager who can work under the Glazers purely because he doesn't need big funds to be successful. Yeah, he could work with all these young players coming through and make them into superstars. Obviously, not every single one is going to be a superstar, but he is more likely to be able to make use of the entire squad as opposed to a Mourinho or a Solskjaer who need to bring in ready-made players. He doesn't need to do that, and that's been clear from his career at Tottenham, like what he's done with Kane, Dele Alli, and Ben Davies. The list goes on. But anyway, the team overall was just awful. Didn't look interested. Yes, Pogba gave away a penalty, but he wasn't the worst player in the pitch by any stretch of the imagination. Rashford was just marked out of the game, looked tired to me. Greenwood had no impact at all. To me, I think Cavani, as I say, would have maybe freshened it up a little bit and might have frightened the Arsenal defence. Fred and McTominay, never ever going to be creative players, and that's what we needed in this game, clearly. Donny van de Beek probably could have came in at some point earlier in the game. I know he did come on, but again, as usual, it was too late for him to affect the game. And then I don't know what the hell we were doing towards the end of Harry Maguire being in the box, knocking these headers to nowhere. Like, that's just stupid. We complained about that when Mourinho used to do it with Fellaini. Bring him on, we'd lump balls up and he'd head it. But the difference would be Fellaini would often score or knock it to somebody. Harry Maguire can't do that, and quite honestly, I want Maguire out the club. I just don't see him. I know he didn't really do anything wrong for this game, and arguably not the last few, but he is going to make mistakes again. And I'm fed up of this team. I'll be totally honest with you. I used to be the biggest Anthony Martial fan, and I still am. But I just think when he comes back, is he really going to make a difference? Don't think so. Rashford again, he's another player who at the moment is going well for him, but history tells us he will drop off again and be pathetic for 10 games, then come back for 10. It's just a group of inconsistent players who aren't good enough to win trophies for Manchester United, right? In my opinion, the only manager who could have done that was Mourinho, right? Ferguson, obviously, he's retired. Had Mourinho been in charge last season, right, and got to the semi-finals that Solskjaer's got to, we would have won at least one of them, right? And I don't think many of you can disagree with me on that. He's great in cup finals. He's not lost too many of them. In fact, I don't remember him losing any. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I don't think he has lost a final. I don't remember any anyway. Certainly not with Man United. So yeah, I think we probably have an FA Cup somewhere. Maybe another League Cup. What about the Champions League? Last season, no, sorry, a few seasons ago. I know he didn't do too well on that, but maybe he would have pulled it out the bag himself. I don't know. But yeah, to sum up, Solskjaer and the club as a whole and the squad are inconsistent. We're not going to find consistency with this group of players or manager, or board even. So it needs to be a complete overhaul, and we should not expect a league title for about 15 years. Yeah, we're the next Liverpool, guys. I hate to break it to you, but we're not winning it for a while. The best we can hope for is the League Cup, the FA Cup, and maybe the Champions League if we are very lucky and somehow manage to get a cup team together, which this team could be. Who knows? It's a weird season, but yeah, we will not be winning the league for about 15 years under the current circumstances. And I'd be surprised if he ever sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer purely because he says yes to everything the board want. So yeah, I will be very disappointed when Pochettino goes to another club such as PSG, and we are stuck with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with no hope for the future. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you looking forward to the Champions League game tonight? Or this week rather? I may or may not cover it. I don't know. But anyway, I will see you all later.